Hello, Michelle. How are ya?
Good. How are you?
Excellent. I'm feeling great today. Happy to be on the mic with you. Michelle, have you dabbled in any new hobbies lately?
A good question. I feel like I'm always dabbling in something. I can't think of something off of the top of my head, but you have, haven't you?
Well, I've been dabbling a little bit with learning Arabic, and I've also been dabbling with a little gardening because we planted a new
Mm.
tree in front of my house. So I've been
Oh.
watering that tree, trying to nurture it a little bit. So,
Ah, that's nice.
yeah, a few things here and there. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So today we're going to talk about dabbling, but guys,
Yes.
we want to remind you that we have an app for all ears English. It's iOS and Android, right, Lindsay?
Oh my gosh. And it's really the way to go deeper with All Ears English because on All Ears English podcast, you guys are here. If you listen Spotify, Apple Podcast, Castbox, you only hear the show, but on the app, you get to listen to the show like you do
Right.
here, but you also get to see the transcripts right as you're listening, right on the
That's right.
screen, right?
That's
So
right.
that really brings our listeners to a new level. And they can also tap on key vocabulary words, which we
Mhm.
choose that will
Mhm.
deepen your native level. Okay, guys. So, Michelle, where can they go again to get the app?
Go to allearsenglish.com/app, APP.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So, Michelle, let's talk about it. We have a listener question, right? Do you want to read it?
Sure.
Okay.
So, it says, "Hi, I am a royal fan of All Ears English podcast. I check out the episodes every day and learn so much about spoken English and making small talk." So, this listener asks, "How do you use the term come across as and dabble in your daily life? Kind regards, Yen." So, guys, listen up. We'll do a follow up on come across as, but today I want to focus on dabble. So, thank you to Yen for that question. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be really fun. And guys, yeah, make sure you're hitting follow on the show so you don't miss that other one on come across as. That's also a great expression, Michelle, right?
Yes. Oh,
But we'll
yes.
get to that another day. We can't do
Yes.
everything in one day.
Yes. So, dabble. Yeah, Lindsay, do you hear this word a lot?
Yeah, I do. I do. I like this. I think this sounds smart. It sounds like if you say I dabble in this, I dabble in that, it means that you're
Mhm.
curious about the world, right?
Yes. Right, right, right. I mean, what does that mean to dabble?
It means to try things. You
Mhm.
try, right? You do a little bit of something. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
you're an expert, right? It just
Right.
means
Right.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, you're trying, like, here and there, like, just experimenting, basically.
Exactly, exactly. You're saying you're kind of an amateur, you're interested in it though. So do we have any
Yeah.
examples we could give our listeners right away?
Yes, I've been dabbling in knitting lately. I may take a class.
It's kind of good to be able to say that because if you say I'm learning knitting or I'm taking classes in knitting, they might think that you're really good at it. But if you say dabbling,
Mhm.
you kind of get an out for yourself. You're like, I'm just doing a little bit of this. I'm not an
Mhm.
expert, right? I'm just trying something
Right.
new. It kind of lowers the commitment.
True, that's true, that's true. Guys, we wanna make sure that you listen to episode, All Ears English, episode 1306, which is "Are You a Creature of Habit?" So that's a good
Right.
one to listen to. But,
Yeah.
so Lindsay, do you dabble in podcasting?
No, we definitely don't dabble in podcasting.
That's not
We're all the
dabbling.
way in. We're underwater completely. We're we submerge ourselves. Oh yeah. No, that would not be because we publish how many episodes across our whole all 3 shows, like 10 a week or something. I don't know. A lot.
Right,
So we don't
right,
dabble in
right,
podcasting. But
right.
mhm.
And what about this example, Lindsay? Sorry, can we give one more example?
Yeah, here's the example. Do you know how to cook?
I dabble.
Right? So what are you saying there?
I do a little bit. I try. I
You
experiment
try.
here and
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, you experiment, you try, right? Yeah, perfect. Love that.
So that would be the opposite of what we do on the podcast, right? You
Yes.
don't dabble in to what you do all the time. That's not dabbling.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So Michelle, what about you? What else do you dabble in? What else?
Well, I guess I would say cooking, fitness. I wouldn't say I'm very committed, but I dabble.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you're not committed to doing it overly frequently or that well. Maybe at one point you will.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, you're experimenting. What about you? Do you well, you were talking about Arabic.
Yeah, dabble in learning Arabic. Well, we'll see if it's when I come back from Egypt, I'll see whether it's just dabbling or whether it's learning it, like, fully immersing and, like, trying to really learn take it
Mhm.
on as another language that I speak, right? That's a commitment level and a decision that one has to make. Am I gonna
Mhm.
take a lesson once a month and just kind of dabble, or am I gonna take a lesson 3 times a week and really commit to this new language? Kinda
Right.
depends on the trip and how I feel when I come back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can choose, we can make choices in our lives. Which languages do we want to learn? What countries do we wanna visit in the future? It's very exciting, yeah. Yeah. Okay, Michelle, any other ways to say this?
Yes, a bunch. So the first one is to play around with, or you could even say play with, but a lot of times we say play around with. So, for example, I play around with songwriting, but I'm not any good.
Yeah, that's and do you do that, Michelle? Is that true for you? Are you a songwriter as well as a musician? Or
It's terrible. I haven't written a song in a very long time. Like, I hope that one day I will get back into it, but it's not what it used to be. I used to walk down the street and just melodies would come into my head and it was so
Oh,
natural
man.
for me, and now it's not so much, but I hope that maybe once my kids are a little bit older and I'm not so consumed, I have a little bit more time for myself that I could get
Mm.
back into that because that is a huge passion of mine.
It's a good question, right? I mean, in order to like we all have creative energies. We have something that's just a natural talent that comes
Yeah,
up. Do we need our lives to be a little less crowded for that to happen? Like for that to come through when we start to have
yeah,
family and partners and
yeah,
houses and jobs and
right,
decisions, does it just become too crowded? I
right.
don't know. I'm
Yeah.
asking the question to our listeners too.
I think it can. It depends how committed you are to it because we yeah, there's a lot that can get in the way, and it
Yeah.
just depends how committed. So I thought that I was really committed to doing it, and then I still do love it, but I we'll see. I do hope to come back to more performing and things like that in the future. But for now, I All Ears English really kind of fits that creative
Yeah.
energy
It
side,
does. It
that
does.
I still get to do something kinda theatrical and creative,
Yeah.
so I love that.
That's a creative outlet for me too. I feel like
Mhm.
I satisfy my creative needs sort of
Right.
through this show,
Right.
and we get to express ourselves and connect with our listeners, help our listeners. Yeah, we're lucky. We're lucky. It's
Yes.
good. It's good stuff. Yeah. Another way to say this, Michelle, would be toy around with, a little less
Mhm.
common, right?
Mhm, mhm,
So she toys around with gymnastics, but she's more focused on her studies. Hmm.
mhm.
I also think about this as like toying around with an idea of doing something. I'm
Ah, yeah, like I'm on the fence, kind of like that,
Yeah, I'm
or
toying around with moving to
considering.
California, for example, right? I'm toying around with
Mhm,
this idea. I'm just
mhm.
throwing it around in my brain kind of thing.
Right, 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 right. And then the other thing you could say is just from time to time, right? He
Mhm.
practices the guitar from time to time, but he hasn't taken a class.
Yeah, exactly. From time to time. And then fiddle with. This is kind of fun. They fiddle with jewelry making, but I don't think they will open up a store or anything. A great example of this is I think Jessica has shared on the show that
Yes.
she's working on. How would you describe the art that she's getting
It's
into
like
now?
wood, something with wood.
Wood
Is it wood?
burning, wood writing. It's
I don't
really
know what you
cool.
would call it.
But pretty much every week when I see her, she's got a new creation to show me. It's pretty
I
awesome.
Yes, I know, she is amazing. So, yeah, that's a perfect example
That's a
of that
perfect
she's
example.
fiddling
Yeah,
with it, yeah, who knows, a lot of times people do that and then they open up a store on, like,
totally.
Etsy.
Yes,
Maybe she will.
exactly. Maybe she will. I think right now she's just kind of in the fiddling, the learning stage, but it's a
Right.
really nice creative outlet. Maybe we all need something, especially physical with our hands where or writing poems or songs where we can have that outlet, right? Yeah.
Are you good at, like, art or things with your
Oh
hands?
god, no, Michelle, no.
Me either.
No, I'm a more physical person. So with my time to get good thinking and I'll like I said, be outdoors, be
Yeah,
hiking,
yeah.
be moving my body, that's my portal to kind of clear thought and feeling peaceful. Or
Mhm,
meditation, obviously, too.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I am not, oh my gosh, not artistic in the way of using my hands, not at
But you are
all.
with music and performance
Right.
and
So that
voice.
so that kind of thing, like, I guess, vocal kinds of vocal
Yeah.
creativity. I don't know what you would call it, but not the hands.
Right, and some people do acting and, some
Yeah.
people are into Broadway, drama club, that kind of thing. That's a whole
Mhm.
world. So we all just
Mhm.
wanna find our thing, you
Mhm,
know?
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Love it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these are really useful expressions you can use with hobbies like arts and crafts, maybe exercise,
Yes.
lots of things that you can do there. So, let's do a role play. We may not use all of these, but we'll use most of them. And I'm sorry, there is a child crying in the background, and I apologize.
Oh, I can't hear it, but
Okay, good.
hopefully our listeners can't hear it. We'll just speak really loud on the mic so they
Yes,
can't hear. All right,
yes,
here we go, Michelle. We are catching up and we are talking about our hobbies as
yes,
friends. Here we go.
yes. Here we go. So, I've been dabbling in beading lately.
Wow, that's great. I've been toying around with jewelry making actually. We should get better and open a place.
Ha! Yeah, I just do it from time to time. I've been playing around with making earrings specifically.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Okay. Yes, I
Very
think it's
nice.
cool when people do jewelry making.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I would have no idea where to start, but I'm sure
Me
you could take
either.
classes.
Yes. Right, right, right. So let's see. So I said I've been dabbling in beading lately. So people
Yeah.
are
And
beading all sorts of things.
beading, what can we explain for our listeners? What does that mean? Beading.
Putting beads onto things, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So
I think like
also,
could be jewelry, I think.
yeah, for sure. Or bracelets, maybe rings. I don't know. But if our listeners have the app, guys, you're gonna see how to spell that, right? The key here is the spelling, right?
Mhm.
Beading. That's
Mm.
important to note that. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, beading. Okay. Love it. And then what was the next thing?
And I said, "Wow, that's great. I've been toying around with jewelry making, actually."
Mhm.
So it's kind of
Mhm.
fun because when you reveal to someone, it's a connection moment. Hey, I've been making these wood carvings, and then the person would say, "Oh, I've been doing something." And then all
Mhm.
of a sudden the person opens up a really cool connection that you might not have otherwise if you hadn't
Right.
shared the thing you're working on, right?
Right. Yes. True, true. So you open up the door to connection there. Um,
Yes.
and then you kinda take things up a notch and you say, "We should get better and open up plates." And I said, I just do it from time to time." Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm like, "Oh, I'm not that committed," basically.
Right, right. And so it's always a bit of a mismatch, right? If someone has an entrepreneurial spirit, like let's make it a business, and then the
Yeah.
other person just wants to be an artist, it
Yeah.
never works.
Yes. Right,
Oh,
right. Somebody just wants to do it for fun and yeah,
right,
right. It
right.
is a mismatch.
It's like the
Um
it's like the Steve I just rewatched, maybe I mentioned this before, the, Jobs documentary about
Oh,
Steve
yeah?
Jobs, Apple
Uh-huh.
founder, and it's like Wozniak and Jobs, right? Steve
Uh-huh.
Jobs he was really adamant that they wanted to invent this thing and turn it into a big company, and Wozniak was the coder, and he just wanted to make code, like, make cool
Okay.
things,
Uh-huh.
and so
Uh-huh.
there was always the tension between them, really
Oh,
interesting.
funny.
Yeah,
Interesting, that is interesting.
yeah. What's the
Um,
takeaway today?
well, wait, there was one more. I said I've been playing around with making earrings specifically, so, again, trying to
Love
do
it.
that. So takeaway for today, yeah, this is fun to say dabble. This was a great question.
It's
I
fun.
love these specific questions. It's very casual. It's good to talk about your casual interests, and I think really what Lindsay said is the takeaway about, opening up a door to connection. When you share things, don't think that you have to only share pieces of yourself that are, like, perfect and polished
Perfectly
and
refined. Yeah, 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 yeah,
right. Even if you say you're dabbling in something, you do it a little bit, we don't know. That can
yeah.
be a huge connection skill, and it can also, like, relax the person as into saying maybe they do something, "Oh, wait, I tried that too," and you kinda
Mm.
share your how things are going together.
Yeah, this is a low commitment word. It means that you're not
Mhm.
saying I'm an expert
Yeah.
in the thing, right? Sometimes we might be afraid to share something because automatically we think, oh, they must have expectations that I'm a perfect artist, right? Or a famous artist. No, you can just be trying something, as Michelle said, but do share it. Use this word or something like it to share it to, as Michelle said, open that door to that awesome connection. So good.
Alright, great question from our listener. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right, Michelle, take care. Bye.
Alright, bye.